This video is brought to you by CatBeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
What is next for DeMarcus Cousins after tearing his ACL? Can he play and make a return in the 2019-2020 NBA season? Will he end up playing with former teammates Rondo, Anthony Davis, and will he end up playing with the King himself in LA? Before I get started with the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to CatBeast for sponsoring this video. If you want to make your own custom snapbacks and hats, be sure to go to the website in the description box down below and make your own. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. In 10 seconds, I'm going to show you the clip of DeMarcus Cousins tearing his ACL. Just to give you a warning, you can skip it. Just skip about 15 seconds from here. But for those that haven't seen it, here it is. This is DeMarcus Cousins. And this is his ACL injury. This is causing him to have a third straight injury on his left knee. First the Achilles, then the quad, and now the ACL. His career is basically on the line at this point, and we're going to discuss it in this video. Obviously the season has not even begun, and the Lakers have already suffered a major injury to one of their key players for next season, which obviously Lakers fans were excited to see the return of DeMarcus Cousins, a healthy DeMarcus Cousins, and obviously that is not the case. We're not only going to talk about what is next for DeMarcus Cousins, but we're going to talk about what's next for the Lakers, who they can go after now, considering that they're going to be one big man short, and with JaVale McGee as your starting and basically only center, that is going to be tough. Of course, they traded for Anthony Davis, which gives them some relief, but Anthony Davis, at the end of the day, he is a power forward. They do need to go after another big man. Even if JaVale McGee or Davis can't play throughout the season, they're going to probably need a backup. So don't be surprised if they do go after somebody else in the near future, because they're going to need someone to fill the void of DeMarcus Cousins, or even if JaVale or AD goes down. And obviously we're going to talk about DeMarcus Cousins and what this injury really means for his career now. I just want to say that I actually feel really bad for Boogie Cousins. I wish him the best of luck and a speedy recovery, because this is just sad. You go from an Achilles tear to a major quad injury and now an ACL injury, all with a guy that is pretty heavy, pretty tall, and he really relies on his lower body as a big man who can back down other players in the league. Now it's just sad because we don't really know what's next for DeMarcus Cousins, and he went from being one of the greatest big men, if not the greatest big man, to a guy that may not even find an NBA team next season if his injury luck continues. The Lakers really only have JaVale McGee as their key center for this upcoming season. He was probably going to start anyway, but if he goes down, it probably means that Kuzma will play a lot of the 4 when he originally was going to play at the 3, and LeBron was originally going to play more of a point guard role this season. He's obviously not going to play that anymore. It just means that the Lakers as a whole will just have to make do with what they have right now. But I do believe that they may go after a center during the season or until Boogie comes back, because DeMarcus Cousins can still come back in time, and we'll get into that later. There are a few players that the Lakers can go after. The first player was Dwight Howard, but I don't see him playing in LA after what happened originally in his time in LA. Also, I just don't think the fit is very good for him playing in LA, but in terms of what they bring and how they can actually perform, I think Dwight Howard is probably the best center available, but he just doesn't fit well with what the Lakers are doing. In terms of the Clippers, I think the Clippers should really go after Dwight Howard, but that's for another video. The players that they could go after, I believe, could be a guy like Kenneth Faried. He's a little bit younger than Dwight. He is really explosive. He's more of a power forward, but he also played center during his time in Houston last season, and he actually played pretty well. He was a solid contributor, and he's always been a solid contributor to any NBA team. He is 29 years old, but for 1 year, I really don't think that matters, and he's a solid rebounder, and he can score when given the opportunity. Him alongside Davis, if JaVale isn't able to play, because obviously you're going to have to rest JaVale for some games, and obviously he's not going to play every single game, and he's not going to play every minute of every game. They're going to have to rest him, and I do believe they're going to need a backup. Kenneth Faried, obviously he's a power forward, but he can play center in the NBA as we know it today, being such a small ball league. Kenneth is probably that guy, honestly. He can't hit the 3 like a lot of other players in the league, but he's improved on his 3-point shot. He's 29, played with a good team last season. He can rebound and score when needed. As a backup, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't know what other big men you would go after if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. To me, the biggest rival for the Los Angeles Lakers will be the Los Angeles Clippers, as I believe that it will be the Lakers vs Clippers as the Western Conference Finals. The one advantage I actually gave the Lakers over the Clippers was the fact that they did have a big man to go to battle with. It was Davis and Boogie that would really dominate any big man that the Los Angeles Clippers have. I mean, Harrell is a very good player and a great defensive guy, very explosive, hustles and shows determination and anger on the court, but he is also only 6'9". And if he's your best big man, you're going to struggle against Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins when you face up against them. Now, obviously, that is not the case anymore, because I don't think JaVale can really fill the void of what DeMarcus Cousins can do in the playoffs. But that is where it gets very interesting, and this is where we're going to talk about DeMarcus Cousins. In this video, I'm not going to speculate about when he can return, I'm just going to give you the facts. An ACL injury typically takes 6 to 9 months to recover. The facts are, DeMarcus Cousins is a big man, which means that he has more weight on his knee than, let's say, a point guard who tears their ACL. The second thing is, DeMarcus Cousins is an NBA player, and the 6 to 9 months is just a recommended for a general, typical person who was a non-athlete. But obviously there are different timetables for different injuries, and in an article written by the British Journal of Sports Medicine, I read that it can take just up to 4 months for an ACL injury to heal, but obviously I don't believe it will be that quick. It just tells me that there are multiple perspectives, and there are multiple timetables for different people. So we're going to break down and look at a case study, and I believe a perfect case study is Kendrick Perkins, as he was a similar weight, a similar height, played the same position, and obviously was an athlete too. But he is also a multi-millionaire and plays in obviously the NBA, which means he has the best facilities, the best rehab facilities, and the best doctors surrounding him. Point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, when they tear their ACL, it's a huge deal. But they don't have the impact on their knees that a big man would, simply because of the weight they experience in day-to-day moving. But a man named Kendrick Perkins of the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder also had a very similar injury when he tore his ACL with the Boston Celtics. Kendrick Perkins is 6'10" and weighs 270 pounds. DeMarcus Cousins is 6'11", but weighs 270 pounds. So I think this is the perfect player that we can compare. Now, Perkins, obviously the same weight, returned only 6 months after surgery. He struggled a little bit initially, but he used this opportunity to get back in shape, and he actually became a solid player and continued playing for the rest of his career until he retired. Obviously, Perkins was never as good as DeMarcus Cousins, but he was a solid player and a solid contributor, and after his initial injury, he ended up playing solid minutes for the next 3 seasons, and he played over 60 games, and in 2012 played over 78 games, averaging 25 minutes per game. So it's not out of this world to suggest that DeMarcus Cousins can come back. The one thing DeMarcus Cousins had though, he has had prior injuries, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky, considering his prior injuries have all been on his left leg, which is where the ACL injury occurred. So let's break it down. From August to September, there is no NBA. There's obviously the preseason, but that obviously doesn't count. The NBA season starts in October, which is the 3rd month of DeMarcus Cousins into rehab. DeMarcus Cousins would have already done 3 months of rehab when the NBA season begins. Then, obviously in November and December, DeMarcus Cousins will not be there, and the NBA season will be beginning. But by December, that is the 5th month of DeMarcus Cousins rehabbing. DeMarcus Cousins has 6 to 9 months to return to the NBA. In the 6th month of DeMarcus Cousins rehab, that is January, which is about the halfway point in the NBA season. DeMarcus Cousins probably won't return in 6 months, but that still leaves an extra February, March, and April, which is where the NBA season ends. If he can return by April, which is the 9th month of his recovery process, that is when the season ends, which means that DeMarcus Cousins will have enough time to get ready before the playoffs begin, as they begin in May. Now, DeMarcus Cousins may not be there for the start of the playoffs, but if he can get healthy, get accustomed to the Lakers system, and get some chemistry, he could be there for the playoffs. Is it a risk? Maybe, but maybe it's also a benefit, because maybe they were going to rest DeMarcus Cousins until the playoffs anyway. Maybe it's a good thing that he can get fully healthy before beginning his journey into the playoffs. And maybe having a fully healthy DeMarcus Cousins, whilst other players on other teams are a little bit more fatigued as they've played throughout 82 games that season. Because when you think about it, the Lakers do have a prime chance to make the NBA Finals, but even if they don't, we'll say that coming back in June, that is 11 months away. If DeMarcus Cousins' timetable is only 6 to 9, he actually does have a chance to return and actually make some noise in the playoffs. Now, a DeMarcus Cousins, if he can return, won't be the DeMarcus Cousins that averaged 27 points and 11 rebounds, which that is Shaquille O'Neal numbers, like 27 and 11. That is insane looking back. That was his last fully healthy season, which is just insane to think about. He's quickly transformed into one of the most injury-prone and unlucky players, and almost a what-if player now in the NBA. But anyway, I just want to end with this. At the end of the day, whether you like DeMarcus Cousins or not, you just have to feel sorry for him. I know that a lot of people hate on him now, considering he was once the best big man in the league and then joined the Golden State Warriors, which obviously left a lot of NBA fans really questioning how they thought of DeMarcus Cousins. But at this point, you just have to feel sorry for him. He's had an ACL injury, before then a torn quad, before then a ruptured Achilles. He went from being a max player to a guy that could only get paid $5 million, and then this season $3.5 million, and who knows what's going to happen next season if he cannot get healthy again. He may be one of the biggest what-if scenarios, which is just insanely sad to see. He once averaged 27 and 11 in his last healthy season. That is ridiculous. Now, we don't even know what he will be. This could be career threatening or perhaps career ending. I don't know if it will be this season, but I still have faith in DeMarcus Cousins. It's just so unlucky, and I think that's one of the things he's really suffered with, just being unlucky. Let me know what you guys think down below. I wanted to make this video because I want to see what you guys think about DeMarcus Cousins and his future in the league. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new for weekly NBA content, push the notification button so you don't miss an upload, and follow me on Instagram because I'll be at the USA vs Australia game next week. It's been your Warnie Smith. I am out. Peace.